I am going down into the forest. Steve is going to help me out and grab a few logs for me, some bigger logs. I think there's a nice lodgepole pine that's been down and a nice big hemlock. So he's going to bring those up for me. Plan change number 63. Yes, it's now going to be a tiny little timber frame. I'm going to mill the lumber on the mill because it's so challenging to be out there for any length of time. It makes so much more sense for me to mill the lumber here when I can be at home, monitoring the dogs and tending to my duties around here and get a lot more done towards the cabin build without having to actually be out there. So yes, tiny little timber frame. And you know what? I am always a grub. I'm always a grub. So let's just change that up for a hot little minute. A little better, a little bit more refined. Let's go to the drawing board. We'll just have to get rid of this list for now. This is, of course, all subject to variation, other than the size of the timbers, which are already milled at 5 by 5. But yeah, I'm just gonna play around with the joinery and whatnot. I'm not doing traditional joinery and maybe work my way up towards doing proper timber framing on another cabin I do. Where were we?
That's a big tree.
Yeah, so there is actually from there, we cut that down to make the trail. We kind of realized afterward we didn't really need to cut it down, but there she lay. And if we don't get it up soon, it's gonna go rotten. So Steve is gonna tackle that and bring that up for me. Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Big, yeah. It's a big tree. Yeah, I'll
Do
get
you want me to cut it at 10 feet? Or what do you want, 12?
12 feet.
Okay. Give me your tape there and I'll see where the 12 feet is. This is going to slide down. But we'll pick that up after. Perfect.
Where's your safety equipment, Steve?
What safety equipment?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll haul that up with the chain.
Chain is loose. Hearing protection is not there. Eye protection, no chaps. Y'all wonder where I learned it from.
Yeah. Okay. Get the job done.
So this is actually the smaller section of the two sections that I'm going to get. Steve is going down to get me the other one and just leave it up here. But yeah, I mean, this is a ton of wood here. I am planning on getting all of the 12-foot sections, the 12-foot 5x5s. I only need 3. I'll have plenty of wood for that, plus maybe some rafters and whatever else I need. Yeah, so I got lots of wood here. So I'm just gonna kind of trim this up and clean it up a little bit more. I took the bark off already because it was pretty embedded with crap and it was easy to come off. So I'm just gonna clean up a little bit, help the blade out, and get to milling it. This is kind of an exciting log to mill because exciting and intimidating. Exciting because I don't get to mill something this size very often, but intimidating because I want to be really strategic in how I mill it. So cool. Exciting times. Someone had mentioned to me in the comments about, and I've since recently seen it done that way as well. Instead of rotating it 90 degrees, rotate it 180 degrees and take off the next planes. By the time I go to line it up the next time, it's a lot easier. Center of gravity is improved, I guess, so the log doesn't want to tilt back as much. It stands up better. That's what I'm gonna do. Put Clyde in your truck.
Okay. Ton more.
I know, and there's that big hemlock too.
I know.
So if you can tell me.
Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. A little bit more.
Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh, and there is so much more tree. I am so excited. Look at this. I love this blue staining from the bug. Oh, still heavy. Oh, she's a beast. I just checked it and it's square, so that's good. I have a little over 12.5 inches this way and 15 inches this way. So I think I'm going to cut, I can get 6 5x5s out of this to 10, and then this bottom part I think I'll turn into make a few rafters. And then I'll put it back on exactly the same way I took it off. I am at the top of the trail here out at the lake, at the cabin site. I realized this morning, so now that I'm building the cabin in a timber frame, and I'm going to build it like a proper timber frame in that I'm going to build the walls on the outside of the timbers. So that means that the 5x5 posts are going to be inset on the subfloor. And I realized this morning that I didn't really build the subfloor in a way to accommodate that. So if I'd have known that's what I was going to do, I would have done the subfloor differently and beefed up those areas. Now, aside from taking all of the plywood off, the foam insulation out, and beefing it up within the joists and the blocking, because I only have 1/2 inch plywood down, I just bought more plywood, and so that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to beef up the subfloor. I also have to fix it. The back slopes, and I think that the back, is it a rim joist? Sorry. Or the back part of the subfloor is down just a little bit, and it's partially that, and I think it's partially the milled wood, like my own milled wood, that it's a little bit sloped at the back. So I've ripped a bunch of strips of plywood, and I'm going to try and level that up, put the rest of the plywood on, and then put this waterproofing membrane on so that it's waterproof, and that as I'm building the timber frame, because there's going to be lots of rain and snow in the forecast, so I just want to protect the subfloor. I got all the way out here. I brought Steve's truck, which is kind of a pain. I had to go slow because he has his tires are so bald that I was afraid of getting a flat. And I thought I was going to be bringing all the timbers out, but I really just brought the plywood because it's almost 3 o'clock and I'm running out of time. And I realized I forgot water. Heading up and down this hill, I'm usually like sweating and thirsty. I have tea. So I have to save this glorious bit of tea and hope I don't die of thirst on the way home. I have 2 full sheets of 1/2 inch plywood to take down, 2 half sheets of 1/2 inch plywood to take down, two 2x2 squares, sections, and a bunch of strips of plywood, and about 30 to 40 pounds of a waterproofing membrane to carry down. This guy. 30 pounds maybe. 25, 30. Okay. Don't over embellish things, Michelle. Ah! And I can't slide these things down because, well, you just can't. I'm gonna give myself 10 seconds to complain. These boots are so old, my feet are killing me. I'm growing a bunion, maybe because of it. And, ooh, what was the last thing? Oh, my carpal tunnel is really bad. Done. Lucky you, you don't have to see any of this. Lucky me, I don't have to film it. Not having water is kind of a big deal. Anyways, it's gonna rain tomorrow. So the goal is to get the subfloor level, the other plywood on, and the waterproof membrane adhered. Five trips. 5 trips it took. Water. It's the only thing. It's the only thing that's hurting right now, really, aside from my arms, is that I'm thirsty. Anyway, let's do this and go home. It's so nice here though right now. There's some white caps in the lake. A south wind means things going that way, and then the northerly winds come around here, which is most typical on this lake. But it is like so quiet and peaceful. I can't wait for this cabin to be done. Just picture me sitting out here on the deck, having a nice glass of wine. I can. Soon. Well, not soon enough, but one day, let's say. So the first thing I gotta work on is lifting this. So for whatever reason, I'm not quite sure if it's because this is a little bit set down right here, this back joist, or if there is a slight taper. I know I had some problems with the mill. Everything else is good and level, but it's just this back part. Just made strips of 2-inch strips of plywood. I have this 1/2 inch thick, and then I brought thicker ones, but it looks to be that 1/2 inch does it, is what it needs. So then I'll just fill in these spaces as best I can. I made some shims, and just to tighten the gap. I know it's not very professional, but hey, if you want to build yourself a cabin, you just build it however you want. I gotta do it my way, I guess. I'd say pretty good. Something like that. I'm happy with that. So I'm just gonna do that all the way around. Pretty quickly running out of daylight, so I gotta hurry. Done.